Awesome. Well, we'll get started. Thanks everyone for participating, chiming in, and this is going to be fun. A couple just webinar tactics here. If you have any questions, feel free to jump into the chat. We have a couple of our team members here to help. We have full Q&A at the end. So anything that does come up you have questions on, we will be happy to answer that throughout the uh, presentation. And then we'll get started. So welcome. Thank you to the Cambridge team for helping put this together and getting the invitation and the word out. We are Slant CRM. We're an AI native CRM for advisors, and we're thrilled to be working with the Cambridge team. I don't know if there are nicer people on the face of the earth than everyone I meet from Fairfield, Iowa, and Cambridge. So we're thrilled to be with them. Um, just a brief agenda. Doing a welcome right now. We're going to give some time to Matt to talk about why Cambridge is working with Slant, and then I'll jump back in and do a Slant intro and a full demo, and then we'll do Q&A for any questions and finish there. So with that, all that said, thank you so much, Matt, for joining. We'll give you the floor for a bit on the technology consultant role, why you guys are working with Slant, anything you want to share with the crowd here.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Thomas. So we were here at Cambridge, we were introduced to Slant through some of our financial professionals being interested and reaching out to us to get you guys through the vendor due diligence process. As follow-up to that, we kind of worked with you closely to get you on our business management resources program to provide a discount to our advisors. As Cambridge is looking at kind of all the different AI options that are out there. The more benefit we can provide to our advisors through discounts, the better for all of you. Um, so with that, we do have a 10% discount with Slant. I don't know if you have that on there here later in the presentation, Thomas, but get that out there as well, 10%. And I will pass it back over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. Yeah, the whole Cambridge team has been great to work with, and we're excited. We'll be at the Cambridge Ignite conference for everyone in the webinar who's going to be attending that. So we're looking forward to meeting a lot of you there as well. Um, I'll give a little bit about me. I'm Thomas. I'm one of the co-founders here at Slant. This is a fun little picture. I have three little daughters, and that's my wife, Elizabeth. We live here in Utah. This was them. I saw it the 4th of July. We had a good time celebrating America's 250th birthday. But yeah, thrilled to be here. I've lived in Utah for 10 plus years and love working with advisors and spending time outside with my family. So a little background on how we got to this point. We're all here in a webinar together, learning about Slant. Y'all are advisors. We're a technology company. This was the Slant team not only just less than a year ago. We have been building software for quite a few years for advisors and growing quickly. And became clear over time that the CRM needed a fresh, you could call it overhaul or new look of what it could accomplish. And so with this team, we got our heads down and started building, and we emerged in August of last year with Slant CRM. So now there's over 25 people who work here. It's a very fast-growing team, over 1,000 advisors use Slant every day. And so now I'll take the time to go through a presentation, just sort of feature by feature, the things we think matter the most. And then I'll do a brief live demo, and then we'll do Q&A. So some features of Slant I want to highlight. So very first, Slant is a CRM. CRM is sometimes it's three letters, but sometimes treated a bit like a four-letter word. No one wants to change. It's painful to use. People are frustrated. We do not believe you have to hate your CRM. We think you can love it and use it every day. Inside Slant, there are many things that are unique, but one of the most unique of being AI native, what that means to us is that you can do not just get answers, but get things done inside the CRM. So it's not just a place to store data, but a place to do valuable work. And one of the best ways to do that is through chat. So AI chat in Slant. When you open up Slant, you're welcomed with a chat window, essentially, whether you're on a client household or a prospect or even an overview page of the whole book of business. Slant is a place where you can ask questions. So in that chat, it could be anything from, hey, this client's coming in 10 minutes. Tell me what we've done for them in the past year. Or it could be, hey, we just got that estate plan back from their estate planning attorney. I want to understand that and upload that document. Slant is a safe place to store all that data and get valuable insights. AI is incredibly powerful, but needs to be used in a compliant and safe way. And so we're trying to give advisors that experience while also giving you valuable answers. Chat is just one of the many things, and the chat works because of what we call the context window. So AI context is always what are the things that the model has essentially access to so it can get valuable answers. So in Slant, instead of needing to stitch together dozens of tools to make a data lake to then get answers and use a third party, we're saying your meetings should be native to Slant, so a note taker. Emails should connect and it should be part of it. All the CRM data that you'd know and expect in a CRM, the notes, the household information, who are the household members, where do they live, custodian data, what positions are they holding, who are what assets are they have, are we trading, are we moving money, all the notes, every client file. For many people, they're using Dropbox or Google Drive or OneDrive, you name it, as a place to store the client file data. We connect to all of those pieces so you can jump into the chat and get valuable answers out. And so I'll jump into some of these inputs more specifically, but that's kind of a brief overview on what does AI native mean? I would say it means that you can do real work, not just store data. And the best way to do that inside Slant is through chat. So one of the many inputs for everyone here, this is exciting. This is a new product. This gets released to the broader public outside of Cambridge on Thursday. So, but we have launched native intake forms. So one of the many inputs is, hey, when I'm getting a client set up, instead of sending a third-party tool and having to make it, and it doesn't look like my brand, we want you to be able to create an intake form that's branded to you. You can easily edit, and all the data will automatically update the CRM. All the documents will automatically be sent to the client folder, and you will have this great experience of sending your client, hey, we have an annual review. Let's get some information. Or, hey, you decided you want to be a client with us. Great. We're going to gather some things so we can serve you. That native intake form is one of the many powerful inputs. The next is the note taker. Note takers have really taken off in advisor tech, and I think for good reason. They're highly valuable. They record the meeting, leave the note in the CRM, and are just a great way to get a lot of the leverage and value out of AI. And we wanted the note taker to be central to the CRM. So instead of forcing multiple integrations and stitching more things together, we put the note taker front and center inside the CRM. So the features that you would see in maybe a Jump or a Zox we have here, where it records the meeting, a summary is made, there are tasks afterward, and then beyond that, it can do things that really are crucial to CRM, like update the opportunity stage, update key fields, all those happening automatically, recommending the follow-ups and tasks. But it's a very, very valuable input in making Slant a valuable place for you to get and do action. Next is the custodian. So, of all the inputs, custodian is one of the most important that people get excited about. The best reason I would say we have custodian data is instead of context switching between multiple apps, we want you to be able to come into Slant. Maybe you have a question here on the Manny Johnson household. Instead of wondering where is that again, I can just come right here, take a look, and see. Great. Okay, they have a quite a large position, $28 million. Under there, I could maybe go to recent transactions and say, what are the things they've done recently? What's their performance? All those things right in front of me, and those feed the chat. So, hey, which of my clients have a loss position in Tesla? Or I know there's a IPO tomorrow, and there's a similar stock. Who already has that? Who's over indexed to cash? Who's got X percent? All those questions you can just dive right into and chat with to get the answers, which is very exciting inside Slant and one of the many valuable inputs. Another input, more on this context layer, is what we call data enrichment. So whether it's clients or prospects, we're constantly pulling public sources of information to create a better source of data for you. So hopefully not all of you have time to be on LinkedIn all day, but AI does, and we can say, great, of your clients, who's got a new job or who changed positions. We also look at the family tree, who has maybe a parent who has passed away or a child who received a new job or got into a new school, who is buying a home. All these, there's a lot of things in the public record that are out there that allow you as the advisor to make really informed decisions and help your clients on their financial journey. And we want to give those to you so you can help them at your very best. So use what we call our nudges, proactive nudges, to get in front of the advisor and say, hey, here's an opportunity here. This person changed a job. Do you want to reach out and say hi to them? Or, hey, this prospect bought a new home. It's a good reason to reach out. So data enrichment is another one of the many good inputs. And now I'll switch the context there from all those inputs feed some very powerful outputs. CRM is typically built around a couple of those inputs. And then from there saying, great, use other tools, stitch things together, do your best, get good at reading a lot, and looking through these records. And we want to say, great, now with that available in chat inside Slant, what are the things you can do as an advisor? So one of the many outputs that is quite exciting is a deliverable. So in Slant, your company's brand is stored once you get onboarded. Your logos, your colors, your how you talk about your firm from your website, things like that. And we create a brand kit that then informs a bunch of things inside the chat. The main one being, hey, I'd like a meeting recap is the example here. Or another version could be, hey, I just had a great planning meeting and I want to get them a kind of quick plan overview. Can you make a deliverable? Slant is great at making those documents. And those can be printed and mailed. They can just be downloaded as a PDF and sent. They can be shared on your screen if they're in the office with you. But the biggest firms in the world that a lot of every independent is competing with, they have a massive brand teams and massive groups of people dedicated to this kind of thing. And we want to give it to you as the advisor, running your shop. Hey, I want to I want to stand out and show myself as kind of the best advisor in town or working with this person. And so let me create a beautiful deliverable, represent my brand well as show the client we're serious about working with them. So deliverables is one output. Another powerful output is what we call client reviews. I've talked to too many advisors at this point about reviews to know almost everyone's using a spreadsheet. Everyone's a little bit nervous that, who have I not talked with in the last 6 months or who's have been over a year? It's just difficult to track and tough. When you have your list of clients and then you also have your calendar integrated, that opens up an amazing world of saying, well, we know which clients we've had a touch point with. And you could even get beyond that. If texting is integrated or you've had a meeting, maybe even a phone call, you can start tracking those touch points. But we've made an interface in Slant for where you can easily say which client reviews are overdue, which ones am I on track for, when one is coming up on due, let's say a month before I want to do it. Is it automatically creating a task? Is it kicking off a project? Am I maybe sending information to them and a new intake form to get their data? All those things, the headache of who am I meeting with, who am I not, and staying up on client reviews, Slant helps really solve that job, which is one of the things our customers get most happy and excited about is getting rid of that spreadsheet and putting it somewhere native where it's updating on its own. If there's any promise of AI, it's that you should be doing less manual data entry and less manual data updating, and AI should be doing it for you. So that's a little bit on client reviews, a very powerful output in Slant. Next is AI automations. We'll dive more into this as well in the live demo. But when I think of AI automations, if any of you have used Zapier, AI automations are a very similar feel in terms of when X action happens, I want Y to happen after. For a lot of people, this has been, hey, when I add a tag, let's say you add a tag of prospect, I always want to send them an email or do some research on them or kick off this project. Or when I turn a prospect into a client, I always want to kick off this workflow. Those are the things that were, as simple as those sound, really difficult, if not impossible to do in the legacy existing CRMs. And in Slant, it's something our users use every day. So if you have automations in mind, feel free to drop them in the chat or reach out to our team. But the things you've wanted to automate, we want to help you get accomplished. And so that's a little bit on AI automations, but it's more than just when this happens, do the next task. It's very much, hey, when a prospect becomes a client, do research on them, understand why they chose to work with us, draft an email to reach out to them, inform the team, kick off a project. It can get very, very powerful. Another great output of Slant is what we call AI prospecting. We know growth is uh, difficult. It's hard to find growth. And for those who are actively searching for it, we want you to have good tools in front of you. And if you are having good growth, we want it to help. So this is two-sided. One is great. Let's say in the past year, you've added 15 clients and eight of them were garage door repair owners or some other type of service that you want to work with. You could put garage door repair openers right inside of Slant in the prospecting section and find other ones in your area. So garage door repair owners in Salt Lake City or in, Albuquerque, New Mexico, wherever you are or want to be working. And it'll find a list of people that match that criteria. And then you can go and begin your outreach to them, try to make a connection. People are using it with centers of influence. Hey, who are all the estate planners or estate attorneys in my town or CPAs? And start building a COI network. All those things. We just want to make it easy for you to kick those projects off. And similarly, if you have lead flow, if you're getting leads from a third party source or you're getting a lot of referrals, we're enriching those people as they come in. So, hey, this person reached out or fill out the only site there, 18 and just started college and maybe had a question. Okay, like I know I'll help them pro bono or give them some help. And then if it might be, hey, this person is 60, they just sold their company, they got two homes and Lots of income and lots of money. Great. I'm gonna like really work this lead super diligently, make sure I'm on top of it. All that enrichment and prospecting again is here to help you stay on top and grow your business. Another great output is PDF filler. We're all doing too much paperwork. I even have my paper notepad here. I enjoy paper, but sometimes there's paperwork we just don't want to do or that we're spending a lot of time manually in. And if you ever find yourself saying, well, this data is already in the CRM, why do I have to put it in here in another document or another tool? Slants, we're trying to solve that for every advisor. So PDF filling all the information inside your CRM. If there's a fillable PDF, you can map the fields, start it, and fill it out. This is a massive time saver for back office teams, for other groups. These are the things we want to be filled in. So you can see here in the example, an account opening form on the right, it has the fields from the CRM. You'd click fill and pop those in. One of the many valuable use cases of Slant. Again, we're looking for ways to save you time, help you focus on relationships. Our company motto is relationships matter, and we want you to spend time on those things that matter most, which is definitely not filling out the PDF, but sometimes it just has to get done. So software and AI are a good use for that. Those are a lot of the key features. We'll show a few more in the live demo, but I wanted to give some customer stories of people who have had great success with Slant and just share some of the things they say before I dive in. So this is North Star Investment Partners. They're a great group out of Georgia. I love the line they said here. I can read the whole thing, but the end there, it almost feels like you have an assistant for your business. And they talk above that about focusing on the client relationship. We love when we're compared to more like an assistant than just software. I think for a lot of people, CRM is something you have to use every day. I have to keep it up to date. It's a little bit of a pain. Slant is going to be doing work for you in the background, and that's where it gets very exciting. So the mindset of not just a tool that you're logging into, but a thing that can, help your team get a lot more done. That's when we get excited. So one good comparison is there. Another great example, this is the Boyer Financial Services team, great customers of ours out of Southern California. I love the line here. Slant gives our team real-time clarity, better context, and more capacity to do what we love most. Stay proactive, be present, and deepen our client relationships. Deepen their relationship. Jason Jacoby said that. I love this. I think of everything Slant does, we want you to be able to focus on the work that matters most. So for some, in the summer, that might be getting home at 3 and playing with your kids. For others, it might be having the best deliverable so you can win a really new high net worth client. For others, it's maybe getting some more leverage out of the existing staff you have before having to make a hire. It's different for everybody, but Slant is a tool where we want you to really focus on what matters most. And for a lot of you, again, that motto, relationships matter. We want that to be the client relationship. Being an advisor is a special job. You have a huge responsibility, and we do not take that lightly. We want to be the tool to help you get that done and help these people on their financial journey. Last quote here, and then I'll dive into a live showing of the product. But this is the Sonoma Wealth Advisors team out in Northern California. They just said for firms that are trying to scale and stay forward thinking, Slant's the CRM partner that makes the most sense. They've grown incredibly quickly. They use Slant every day. And I think the best example here is not just the tools they use, but things like intake forms being pushed this week, all the new development, the way our API works, how we're very open architecture for other tools that you want to work with. Slant is very much designed to be your AI partner. I think there's a lot of options out there for AI tools you could use. And it could just be a note taker, someone maybe saying, hey, you need this big data lake, and there's every version in between. Our thesis here is the best way to use AI as an advisor is going to be inside your core system of record. And that's the CRM, where you're tracking your tasks, where you're assigning things, where you know who your clients are. And so we're making that the experience in Slant. But with that, let me just jump to another screen and start sharing some features of Slant. So here I am. We're seeing that good? Great. So here is Slant. We'll just do a quick overview of the some of the things inside here, and I'll try to be quick so we can focus on the questions coming in. Let me move all my Zoom bars. Um, so in Slant, I'm here on a household record. First, I have a client table. I can go see who are my clients, who are my prospects. As simple as that sounds, it's pretty difficult to do in some of the other tools. But if I jump in, great client, I have a question maybe about Matt and their household. So I can say they're coming in 30 minutes, and I'd say maybe tell me some interesting facts. about Matt. That could also say, remind me what we've done for them this year. Tell me, the latest and greatest in their portfolio. But I want to remember the personal details so I can nail it in the meeting and resonate. Oh yeah, Matt's a USC fan. He likes to golf. He likes to drink diet soda. He has a kid at UCLA, another at Rodriguez High School. Likes email follow-up and had secure act questions like, oh, I got a really good picture again. I know what they're about. I can go dive into custodian data if I needed to and more on that. But we'll continue down the chat here. So I'm reminded of all that, and maybe let's say, send an email to check in, and it can draft emails for you, right? This is connected to your Outlook account or your Gmail, and you can click send from here. It's in your sent folder in your existing compliant and tracked systems. And so it's a very quick way for you to get some valuable information out. So while that's working, it says, great, there's a draft here. I can view it. It mentions some personal things, which is great, like how Julie's doing. Hopefully he's golfing and has a nice drink. Fun. It hit a personal note. I can maybe use AI to edit it or change things up, but it's a very valuable, helpful way for me to get more done and show more. So not only is Slant a place for you to get that information, like, hey, what did we do with the client? But it can do some work for you. And then I could send that off, but let's see, it's coming to the office, create a deliverable summarizing their financial plan that I can show them, and it will start creating a PDF, things like that. Um, so it's running a lookup scale. It'll talk through all the things it wants to do. It won't take too long. I'll show some of the inputs as it goes through that. So what are the notes about Matt? I can have those right here. That custodian data that we talked about, more of the inputs of the context. Okay, here's what we have in them from a client perspective. All the emails back and forth, maybe the meeting summaries we've had, all the conversations, every task we've done, their client folder and all the files, all those feed in to this chat experience where I can get a deliverable. So great, generate PDF was completed. I can look through all the things it did. So it has some client assets, talks about the Secure Act. There's tax and investment planning. It's a really clear way for me to see, and I can look at that document and say, great, here's what they're doing. Here's the known assets. We've got a retirement. Here's the goals and planning, what we're focused on. Here's the risk things we have here, next steps. All those are clearly laid out so the advisor can jump in and have a great experience showing Slant. So again, I wanted to show the power of chat. It's really exciting. More and more happens in here every day. But it's not just a place to get answers, it's a place to do some valuable work for your clients. I'll show automations next. Automations is that place of seeing what are the triggers out there and how can I do more things with them. So of all the triggers available, there are so many. It's someone's birthday, someone turned a certain age. I have a big list of the ones that are common here. What's going to happen when they're 59 and a half? What's going to happen here, there, or elsewhere? Um, Okay, let me do another one. Let's look at it's their client anniversary. So when they became a client, or I created a new household and I met some criteria. Someone completed a sequence. I clicked a button. A meeting got scheduled. That's a very fun one. Someone booked time on my calendar. Great. What do I want to do next? And I can look and say, hey, only when the meeting time or this link is what we used. Next, so what do I do? I want to always add a tag, and the tag's going to be 401k because it's a 401k meeting. And then after that, I want to do some AI research. And after that AI research, I want to, make a notification or something for the team. So we need to, all those steps stack up and become very, very valuable in terms of, great, let me draft an email as the last step. I want to send an email internally to the team. All those things are great automations that a lot of advisors have pieced together, maybe a couple tools. We want to give you a many, many ways to automate and do powerful things in Slant. So, with all that in mind, there are many other things I could show. I'll quickly show a project, um, new client onboarding. There's all these things I can do in a project. I can create, what are all the steps that need to happen? We need to open and fund an account. Just want that visual view for you to log in and see. Um, and then lastly, I can show there's enrichment, there's tasks, there's all the notifications. 1,000+ people use Slant every day. I think it's worth calling out. So if you have a question on a specific CRM feature, I'm sure it's available in there. Um, but I want to be respectful of time. So that's a brief demo. Very excited to answer any questions. I'll leave the Q&A open here. I have Hayden helping me as well. Um, yeah. Just do there. Do you want to just read this off? Great. We got multiple laptops to help this happen, which is great. Okay. So question, is there a cost from CI or other to have the custodian data feed in the Slant? Great question, Don. So we have a direct integration with a lot of the major custodians. So if it's Schwab or Fidelity, we can have information to get that information in. We're working right now with the Cambridge team on the Wove connection. So we have had conversations with the BNY Pershing and Wove team. We want that data in to make it kind of one click, one place. But in the interim, you have the ability to connect directly with custodian, which should get people pretty far and be powerful. So, um, yeah, I believe if you're doing Wove, there is a cost, but Matt may have more context on that. But from Slamper side, it's all baked in. As long as we can connect to the data, we're happy to connect it.
Yeah, I can jump in here real quick. It would be the same cost as connecting Wove to any other platforms. Right now, that cost is if you have it connected to one platform, it's $30 a month. Two or more platforms is 40. So it would be the same once that's connected for Slant. And that's just passed along directly from the Pershing Albridge Wove team, whatever their name they're using today. That's passed along
Oh,
from
I see.
them through us. So that would be the same.
Great. Thanks, Matt. So hopefully that's clarifying there, Don. Um, Next question. If an email is sent through Outlook instead of Slant, does it end up in the client record in Slant as well? Yes. This is a great value prop in Slant. So your email history is tied to Slant on the client level. So if you work with the Clausen family, me and my wife and kids, then any emails we've had back and forth feed that context. So as long as the email's inside your email, it'll be inside Slant. So then you can jump into the chat and say, hey, what have we emailed over the past year? What has gone back and forth? That's the same with texting as well. If you have a compliant texting tool, that data feeds in as well, which is very, very powerful. So hopefully that is clarifying there. Next is another one from Diana. Scheduling meetings. Yeah. So we integrate directly with the calendar, and we have a Calendly integration as well. Um, we do not have a scheduling link inside Slant. It's something that we have thought about, and there's some things we want to build there. Sorry, my camera. I got my computer hitting it. Um, but we connect to the calendar. So anytime someone books time on your calendar, Slant sees, and you can trigger automations from that. So hey, you got a new meeting on your calendar, it's a prospect, go do research on the prospect or something like that. So that's a valuable thing there on scheduling meetings. Um, yep. And then if there's other questions there, I'll keep having those come live. I see a couple others as well. People ask about the Cambridge discount. It's 10%. Our list price, so those who know, we're very transparent, is $150 monthly, essentially 1,800 for the year. So we have a 10% discount on that for Cambridge advisors, which is great. Um, and then importing. Import is a big question we get. Like a lot of people are Redtail or Wealthbox. How difficult is it? We've imported hundreds of firms, thousands of users, literally dozens a day from those main tools. So Redtail and Wealthbox are very productized, very clean. We've done them hundreds of times. We know it will move over. You get a clear outline. And that whole process, we're big on working with people. So the fastest growing team at Slant is our customer success and onboarding team. So the people who work with the advisor to get set up and comfortable. That's a huge, huge piece of what we do. So you work with a real person, they help get your data in and feeling comfortable. But we import from Redtail specifically every day. Um, Compliance, I know, is a big question. I'd see some on that. Um, if you have a compliance question, I'm happy to answer the specifics, but I would say our big job is to keep your client data safe while also giving you access to the large language models, the ChatGPTs uh, and Claudes of the world. And so we do a lot of work to remove PII from the model to make sure that no sensitive data gets sent there. We have enterprise agreements with them. We have bank level encryption. We are SOC 2 Type 2. The list goes on. But we have your compliance and safety totally at heart and at mind of as a top priority here, which is great. And then we're going to be at Cambridge Ignite if anyone has questions about that. And then learning more about Slant. There's our website is valuable. I think a really good one is YouTube. We have a customer webinar every Thursday with all of our users. At this point, it's a little bit of a party where people are excited about all the new things that get released. But those we publish online, and a lot of people watch those who are thinking about Slant. It'll give you a really good glimpse into what we do. So I'm seeing a couple more questions come in. Let me keep opening those. Oh yeah, and I'll put while that's up. For those wondering, this is the 10% discount. You can scan this here. If you have any questions, feel free to book time. Let me keep answering some questions from the chat. So yeah. Someone asking costs. Yeah, cost. Is it same for advisors and admins? Yeah, we follow more the traditional CRM model. So like a Redtail or Wealthbox, that everyone can do everything. They may need to make a task. They may have a meeting. So the cost again is essentially 1,800 per user per year. If you're doing a note taker and a CRM and maybe project management, we usually see ourselves as a pretty big savings. Um, but we know it's premium. That is the list price. You guys have the discount of 10% off. So that's 135 per month is what that maths out to. Hopefully that's clarifying, Ken. And you can see that there. And then list of current software integrations. We need to publish a list. It's growing every day. We have an open API. Um, I would say the major custodians, we have all of them. The next is we have a lot of the every kind of email provide Google and Outlook are coming in, all the file storage, major custodian, file storage, email, calendar, and then specific advisor ones. There's more and more that are getting built and coming in, but Calendly, we have a good way to connect to we don't have a direct integration with, let's say, the planning tool, Right Capital, but you can download the Right Capital plan and get the output out. So for the 1,000+ users in Slant every day, they feel very connected to all their tools. Sometimes it's a little different than they would have thought, but a lot of the existing integrations out there in some of the advisor tech is more, hey, we're connected, but not much happens. We try to make ours really actionable. Um, Great questions. Anything else? I'm making sure there's a Q&A button and a chat button, but I think we got it. Um, yeah, it was great to are you model agnostic? Great question. Yeah, you have an option inside Slant to work with the ChatGPT models or the Claude models. We had the Gemini ones in there for a while, but they just weren't quite as performant. We do a lot of testing on the models before of which ones work well with what we do, so that you can pick the one that works well for you. But there's a lot of vetting beforehand, so you get to choose your own adventure on that front. But that's a powerful tool for us in terms of users will find over time which ones do better for different tasks, or they all have just a favorite that they want to constantly use, which is good. Great. Any other questions? These keep flying in. This is great. If not, the information's here on the screen. We're very thrilled to be able to work with you all. Looking forward to meeting you all at Cambridge Ignite and learning more about Slant. I'll stay for just a few more minutes or seconds, make sure there's no more chats, and then we'll close it. Thank you again, Matt, and the whole Cambridge team for the time.
Yeah, of course. Happy to work with you guys and be able to provide the discount. And I know Jim said he's looking forward to meeting you all in person at Ignite and talking to you
Nice.
there.
It'll be awesome. Okay, I see one more is the note taker connect to phone calls. Yeah, so you can dial in the note taker, which is great. So you can call it in if you're calling, and then if your phone provider has call recording, the common ones there are like Ring Central. If you have that, you can just have the transcript pass through as well. So we try to make it very easy to have the phone call recorded. Awesome. Consolidation of subscription. Can you go over the feature set? Yeah. So what we're typically consolidating. So for most advisors, you have CRM. A lot have added on a AI note taker. So the sum of those parts is usually something like 100 to 150 for the note taker and 50 to 80 for the CRM. So that's one side. Another one common is like project management. So if people were using Monday.com or Hubly or Asana to manage their team's tasks, that's another thing we consolidate on. If you're paying for Zapier to do automation, you can get rid of that. If you're paying data enrichment, like a Catchlight, consolidate that, get rid of that. Forms, yeah, if you're paying for Precise FP or Jot Forms or any other client intake, again, that's another one. So most of our users there, they would say they have quite a bit of savings, especially if they're using multiple. If you're not using any of those and you're just in CRM, it is a premium. are not afraid of that. That is just true. You'd be surprised how much AI costs there are just from doing your typical advisor work. So, but that is, yeah, hopefully that is clarifying, Ken. Again, thank you everyone for tuning in. It was great to meet everybody. And yeah, if you have any other questions, my email is thomas at slant.app. You can write me. I'm happy to answer there. And then also, if you book time on this page that we're showing, you'll meet with one of our great team members who should take great care of you. Thank you, everyone at Cambridge, and have a great rest of your Tuesday.